Hey everyone, Carla here from Documenting the Journey. I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of my bullet journal. So as you guys know, if you're new here, welcome. If you are not, then you guys know that I moved from the Common Planner to her 520-page bullet journal. The biggest reason is just because I need all of the note pages. The Common Planner had 365 undated pages, which was amazing, but I had just noticed that I was not utilizing the hourly, like essentially at all. And so I was intending on, hi, kitten. That would be Tickleton. He is very hungry. But anyways, I was essentially using it for memory planning, but I was also doing a lot of my memory planning in my daily pages, and so it was just a little bit redundant, so I figured I could save all those pages for my tracking and logging and reference pages. So the first thing I have here is a receipt from Maria, who sent me this cover. I just adore her in every aspect of life. She's just an amazing human, and she's a wonderful creator. I also have some Coffee Monsters Co. I have been debating on the decoration of the cover, if I am planning on doing that. Do you want that, Tickleton? Here, hang on. You can have that. Here, play with that. I don't know. I want to put this here, but with the texture of the cover, I'm not really sure. And I also wanted to put one here, but it's just a bit too big, and I don't want it to like peel up. And so I've been keeping them here thinking that I will use them to decorate my cover, but I'm just not 100% sure. And these are just the holidays. And so when I come in, I have a Bujo key of the icons that I use. I have not committed to write it down yet. This is an index. I did go through and hand number all of my pages because the notebook did not come with numbered pages because it was going to add to the cost, and I did choose the one with the gilded edge too. And so I have a 2-page blank spread here. I figured it could be a 2-page index, or it could be 2023 goals. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this quite yet. I have a 2-page January. I was originally going to do a 4-page month. I was originally going to do a monthly tracker here, my monthly goals here, and then a 2-page spread here. But I have so much space in the back, I just didn't feel the need to have 4 pages for a month. And so I just went through and just drew out my monthly calendars back to back, just like they are in the Common Planner. Another reason I also left the Common Planner is because I didn't really love, I'm still struggling with the grid lightness, but I didn't really love the way the dates and everything looked so light compared to my pen and my writing. And when I can do a bullet journal, everything is the same color, so visually it's easier for me to see. Okay, and so here are the rest of my months. I just write all of my tasks on a sticky note, and then I will transfer it when it gets closer to that month. Just that way, if anything changes or anything like that, I don't have to worry about scratching it out on the actual monthly calendar. Now, I did make some mistakes in November and December. In November, I was off one grid. I did great on this side, but I was off a grid here, so this is one grid shorter. And I did the same freaking thing in December. Not only did I get off grids, so this one is shorter and this one is taller, I also numbered the whole month completely wrong. Yes, that happened. But that's okay, because that's what a bullet journal is all about. I created it and I'm allowed to make mistakes. This here is my 2024 future log. I just don't have anything written out for it yet. I saved some pages for January because all of my January is in my Common Planner. I'm still undecided on whether I'm going to back plan, if I'm going to tear them out of there and tip them into here, or if I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm not really sure. but I saved all of those pages for January, and then I just jumped right in to February. So as of right now, I'm using 4 pages per week. So I have my weekly overview Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's very similar to the Take a Note, but again, I can create it myself. I don't have to have any red headers on Sunday, and I can choose the notebook that I want, and I know that I'm gonna like the paper. I've heard a lot of mixed things about the Take a Note planner. And so this is just kind of my first real week in here. I have a lot of extra space on my days. I was really hoping that with all of my memory keeping bullet journaling, I was going to be able to take up some space, but I still just have so much space left over. And so I'm not sure if I'm just going to have to longhand freeform journal, or if I'm going in with something different, or even if I'm going to eventually try a different layout. I honestly don't mind the space. The only thing my brain is saying, ooh, look at how much space we could save, and look at how many pages we could save. And so I did start to draw out my next week. I'm not gonna do a plan with me in this video just because. So these are just my obligated tasks here. I'm also undecided on whether I'm going to keep these with the border that I drew, or if I'm gonna do something a little bit more free form and free flow. One idea I did have with all of this extra space is I could have, if I didn't have these lines, I could have blocked off this whole area and just did a 3-day recap journaling. And then I could have just gone across the entire like pages, you know, but because I have the lines, I just didn't want to do that. So that was my idea for this week, is instead of drawing my border and drawing these lines, I was wondering if I could just use my stencil and still write my headers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but not have my lines and my border. So that way, as my rapid log is done and my memory keeping is done, I could use the whole bottom section just for freeform journaling. Or I could, you know, write sideways and do large quotes or something a little bit more creative. And so I don't think that I'm gonna do the borders on this week here, but I've got my weekly overview. I have all of my space here reserved for 4 pages per day. So my 4 pages per day will go all the way to page 238. I only numbered my even sides. I figured I could do the math and -1 and figure out the odds, but it also saved me time. This, honestly, it took me like 5 minutes to do, because I essentially just numbered, did this, numbered, did this, numbered, and it was just evens. And so it was super simple to do, just in case anybody was worried about buying an undated, or I mean an unnumbered notebook. It's really easy to do. So the next section I have are my weekly menus. And so I have week 1, week 2, week 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is this week. We did cook those days. I just didn't plan what we were going to cook those days. And so, whoops. So this is this week coming up. So I need to plan my menu, and then I'm gonna write my grocery list down here. So I have 14 pages saved for that, because I think it was like 52 divided by 4 was 13. And so I have all of those pages saved. And then this is where my archiving comes in. So I have my food inventory here. The majority of it is still in my common planner. I haven't transferred it, but basically anytime we buy meat, my cat is starving, y'all. Anytime we buy meat that we are going to put in our deep freeze, we add it to this log, because this goes everywhere with me. So every time we're at the grocery store, we can easily see what we already have and what we don't need to buy. So I know you guys couldn't tell, but I did take a break. I grabbed a cup of coffee and I had to feed my cat, because that was a lot. He was a hungry monkey. So yes, I have 2 pages for my food inventory, because I have my frozen food inventory over here in our deep freezer. And then I'm gonna have our pantry, stable shelf, stable, not frozen, what is it called? I guess I just described it, I'm not sure. Inventory over here. like our canned tomato sauce when we make our pasta sauce, canned beans, dried beans, backup peanut butter, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that has a long shelf life. That's what it is. That's how I wanted to say it. All right, and then my next page is a running to buy list of things that we say, oh, we need to buy that, but we never actually like have it as a high inventory item that we need to buy. So like light bulbs, and we're thinking about maybe buying a tablecloth because our table is very well loved from the kids and we kind of maybe want to hide some of their permanent art. And so I did leave an extra page here. I don't think my running to buy list will flow over to this. You never know. And so I'm not sure if that page is going to be used for that or not. My auto maintenance, so far in January, our truck has gotten an oil change and a new battery. My vehicle in February got an oil change, so we're just logging everything that is done here. Pretty soon I'm going to need to get new tires as well. And so that's all of our auto maintenance. Our home repairs, now on a sticky note, I'm going to write a wish list of repainting our cabinets, of replacing our flooring, touch up drywall type stuff. Like I'm gonna put a wish list on a sticky note and then I'm gonna log what was done and when. This is my already read list. I need to add another book to it because I just finished a book last night. Last night was the 4th. And so I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books already in this year. And so again, I don't think it's going to overflow to this, but I can always use this as, you know, something else with content, like a movies that we watched or shows that I've watched, because sometimes I'll get really bored and I'll scroll through Netflix and I'm like, oh, this looks good. And 10 minutes into it, and I'm like, ooh, I've seen it. This is a pet log. I am going to need all of these pages for my pet log. I have 3 pets. One is chronically sick and I'm worried is going to go into a hospice type situation this calendar year. One is newly adopted, very young, very healthy. And then another one is newly-ish adopted, very young, very healthy, but he just got accepted into a blood donor program. And so I have to log all of the times that he donates blood, the date that he does it, the volume that he donates, and so that way I know when I can bring him in to donate again. And so I did intentionally leave multiple pages for that. And then I think I left until 282 for that. All of these are unclaimed. Like, look at that. That is such a huge chunk. So I already know that I'm going to have to use several of these pages for summer activities. I have already registered my kids for some summer camps through our local Parks and Recreation department. So I'm going to use these pages to jot down the days and the times of the camps, which kid is going to it, the address, the forms I need to fill out, the rules, whether it's an all day and they need to bring lunch, whether it's just a couple of hours type thing. So I'm going to have to log all of that. And then I also use multiple pages for like vacation type stuff. And so if we go on any vacations, I use multiple pages for that, just for like quick form entries, instead of really putting myself to have pressure on creating a spread. Because usually when we're on vacation, I don't have a task list. It's all just memories. And so I leave a big chunk of that for all of our vacation memories. And then of course, anything else that's gonna come up throughout the year. You know, I have plenty of space here. If I needed to have a day per page, I could have that. I also have a ton of space that if I needed to even kind of like use half of this notebook for work stuff, I could. I really don't want to do that. I want to keep work separate, but occasionally I do have to bring some work home. And so I'm hoping to keep it all separate, but yeah. And then this is just the back cover, and that is my bullet journal. So like I said, I was going to try and keep it short and sweet for a quick walkthrough, but I'm not sure if it ended up short and sweet or not. I'm also, you know, I'm also undecided on tabs. So I love tabs. I want tabs. I want all the tabs. I want all the sticky tabs. I might just do, these are the cloth and paper round circle sticky notes that I'm using right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Aura Estelle monthly tabs again because I did this. I wrote all of my months here. And so because I wrote all of my months on the edge, I'm not sure if the monthly sticky tabs are going to work because it would go over the month name. So tabs are currently undecided. Again, I'm just kind of using these. These are great because they're repositionable. I can just switch them from week to week. Like right now, I'm going to switch it to here because this is today, and then this is what I'm going to be planning in next week. So again, tabs are undecided. Deco is undecided. I do have a couple of stickers in here already for the holidays. I got the tiny icons for the calendar view, and then I got these larger ones that actually have the name on them for my weekly view. And then I found this during my decluttering. I was like, oh, this would be super cute for February, but I'm not sure if I want that much pink in it yet, because in like my monthly, actually it would actually look really good with the gray, because I did do the gray here. I don't know, undecided. So I found that and I'm kind of keeping it, and I'm just kind of like, should I? I don't know, maybe. So I also mentioned in a video that oftentimes when I get bored, I will go through and like back sticker everything. So, but that's it. That is my B6 not common planner. This is my B6 520 page journal. I will also mention, let me get my common planner. I will also mention, as far as the quality goes, the cover on the notebook is so much better, like so much better, y'all. The binding, I don't believe is different, but I believe because the cover is thicker, it might not be as flexible. I was really disappointed in this Lauren Phelps design. Look at look at this one. Like, I even did the heat method and it just shrunk again. But I loved this Lauren Phelps design because it had these slots in it, and this was my wallet. I had my ID, my debit card, my insurance cards. And Catherine, feel free to make your next future cover with the card slots, because clearly it works perfectly to have 3 card slots in a B6 size. Okay, so comparison. Common planner, notebook, exactly the same size. The cover itself is, this one is super thick, like you can hear the thickness, and this one is just like a thick-ish piece of paper, but this is like, it's not as bendable. So the cover is much thicker. My cover on the common planner, it was so thin, it was already starting to separate down here. Now, I'll say with the binding, this one here is a complete lay flat binding. Like, it is so flexible that she showed it on multiple videos. Like, you can basically turn this bad boy upside down. This binding though, it's not the same. And so it's not quite as lay flat. It still does, but I think it's going to require just a smidge more training. But you see how it's like flat instead of this one where it was almost like crescent shaped. And so again, I'm not sure if that's because of the thicker cover or if it's the binding itself, but this one's more of a rigid binding. So I'm hoping it'll be more sturdy, but I also love a flexible notebook. But also with that flexibility, you do have the concern for a lot of wear and tear. Now, this thing ain't going nowhere. So what I'm considering doing is these pages up here, the goals, the quarterly, and this little, see how it's so light? You can barely even see it. So let me do this again. So I am debating on bringing over these pages, the goals and then the quarterly pages, and then these quarterly trackers here. I'm debating on tearing them out and tipping them into my bullet journal because I'm doing quarterly planning, well, 12-week planning, and I'm using the MakseLife system. It's going overall relatively well, but I think it would be nice to have these sections in mine as well. And I purposely did not put them in there because I knew I could tip them into this blank spread right here and still have a blank page here and a blank page there. So undecided on that. But I also know that on the off chance that I run out of any note pages in here, I've got like a whole notebook here. Also, I have considered about making this my work planner because I'm currently in personal rings, but my role is shifting a little bit and I just need a lot more space because I'm gonna start having a lot more projects and a lot more responsibilities. And so possibly thinking of making this my work planner. And my office is very, very well lit. And so the light text here would not bother me as much as it does here in my very dim home. So, okay, this was supposed to be short and sweet, but I think it was quite long. So I did want to also just touch base on the quality difference in the common planner and the notebook. Because yeah, you can already see like the difference in the binding in just, this is my second week in this, and then I had 1 month in here. But I think a lot of this curvature is because the Lauren Phelps design, even with the heat method, it didn't fit. So I did end up purchasing the one from Sterling Ink, even though it didn't have those cool little credit card pockets. And so now my wallet is somewhere else in my bag, which is, it's fine, it's fine. Where is my sweet note from Maria? Oh, here it is, okay. That like brings me so much joy every time I open my notebook, so it has to stay. It will never go anywhere. It's mine. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that this made sense, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.